So when we talk about coming to Jesus, we talk about meeting Jesus on his terms, but we've got to sort through our own terms first. And we all have some type of preconceived notion about who Jesus is. Some 2,000 years from the resurrection of Christ, we've built some ideas about who Jesus is. We have some thoughts, and some of those thoughts don't agree with each other in this room or in any other room. So we got to figure out meeting Jesus on his terms. So what does it look on my terms? Well, there are some substitute Jesus pieces out there. Right, there's Wikipedia Jesus. You guys familiar with Wikipedia? Don't ever do a research project based on Wikipedia, right? Because you, who may know nothing about the idea, can go add to the idea on Wikipedia. It is a socially owned, group-based, sometimes truthful, digital encyclopedia. When I was a kid, my dream was to have a set of Encyclopedia Britannica. It was just always that far out of reach on the budget. And then Nintendo came along. Whole different conversation. I just wanted the set of encyclopedias. Well, my grandparents bought something different called the volume library. And you would get this giant book that was like this thick, no joke, and huge, right? And it was a one-volume book that had information on everything, they thought. And then every year, you would get an update in case information was newly discovered or something needed to be changed. And we went probably 3 or 4 years of updating things. And at this point in my life, I cannot imagine that the updates would have to be this thick about how much the world has changed since I was a kid. But it was filled with all these notions and ideas. And we do this with Jesus too. We have ideas about who we think Jesus is. We've built our own conclusions. We have assumptions. We assign meaning to those assumptions. And then when God doesn't work the way we think God should work, we go into the editing process and we change the information. So a lot of us actually serve Wikipedia Jesus. We just keep changing who Jesus is based on what we think he should be doing in our lives at the moment. And so Wikipedia Jesus is someone we got to deal with, a substitute. There's social media Jesus. This is the Jesus that you just doom scroll and you watch all the videos and there is a collection of things out there about Jesus, all these different videos. I see them all the time. The algorithm thinks that I care about all these random things about Jesus because I care about Jesus. So I get some weird videos on who people say Jesus is. And most of the stuff that they say never, ever touches what the scripture actually says about Jesus. And just like social media, for you, you can perfectly curate what you show to people. To where social media is supposed to be about real community and we can authentically be ourselves in our spaces and tell our truth. We withhold all of that because we're afraid of what other people may actually think about us. So I'll take some of the truth stuff, about what I think about politics, maybe your favorite football team, baseball team, whatever. You'll put ideas out there and let people deal with that, but I don't put myself out there anymore. Because somebody they can disagree with my ideas and I can still be safe, but they may come against me one day, and then I'm not safe. And so let me perfectly curate what I think people should see about my life and my thoughts. And we do that with Jesus too. We have a perfectly curated form of Jesus that matches. Sometimes we find that in doctrine and tradition. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Sometimes it goes back to preference, and that whole Wikipedia Jesus starts to spill into all of this. But rather than updating the whole ideal behind it, we just shape the image a little bit differently. Social media Jesus. There's dating app Jesus. There is a Jesus that fits everybody, everywhere, at any time. and all you have to do is swipe left and swipe right. I've never used a dating app. I have been married for 28 years. I think that's how they work. Someone you like, I don't even know which direction you swipe, to be honest. And if you do know, you don't have to announce it out. It's okay. But you look at the profile and you go, oh, no, don't like that, Jesus, don't like that, Jesus, don't like that, Jesus, don't like that. That one I like. Don't like that one, don't like that, don't like that. And eventually we come to a Jesus that we like and go, this is the one I want to connect with. This Jesus right here. And in each of those scenarios, whether it's the Wikipedia, the social media, the dating app, Jesus, like what each of those do is they keep you in control. And that's what we try to do, right? Like we try to control who God is and what God can do and what God's capable of. We try to control that. We try to control the relationship with Jesus. So we decide what to include with that. We get to decide where the encounter goes and where the encounter ends. But we love to be in control. But if I'm going to meet Jesus on his terms, I have to let go of control. Like the relationship with Jesus starts with surrender. And not the kind of surrender that comes from defeat, like you've been crushed. That's not Jesus. Jesus actually crushed sin for you, not crushed you. But I have to surrender. I had a friend one time who was a U.S. Marine, and the pastor before me gave the whole church white flags on little poles because I think it would be real cute. Because you got to surrender to Jesus and raise the white flag. And that Marine snapped that flag. He was so mad. And he came in one day to my office and he wanted to talk about the previous pastors, my first 3 weeks in office in California. And he brought that flag and he gave it to me. And he put it on my desk. And he said, Pastor, Marines don't surrender. And I looked at him, I said, well, then Marines don't follow Jesus. And he was like, ooh. I said, those aren't my words. Those are Jesus' words. When you wear that blue uniform or those fatigues, fine, don't surrender. But Jesus' words say, this is how we come to him. We don't get to be in charge. We don't get to dictate the terms of agreement or invasion. Jesus is the one who's in charge.